Welcome. Welcome to the final Senate meeting of the 2016-17 academic year. We'll go through campus sound checks. Downtown, Donna Cataldo.
We hear you well, thank you.
Thank you. Polytechnic.
A little quiet out here, but otherwise just fine.
Thank you, Keith. Elsie. Thank you. And Alejandra at West.
We're here, and we can hear you fine.
Thank you. Senators, you have certificates of recognition for your service at each of the meeting sites. If your certificate is in error, misspelled, or anything, please notify Pam Hoyle in the Senate office, and we'll reissue that. At this meeting, Dr. Crow will present a President's Report via video conferencing. And then our second speaker today is Jeffrey Wilson, Faculty Athletics Representative, who will present the Annual Athletics Report. He is joined by Zeke Jones, wrestling coach, and Jean Boyd, Senior Associate Athletic Director. We have two methods of calculating the quorum. The first is to calculate total attendance. So please answer the following question. What year did ASU implement? Not yet. Oh, I'm sorry, I got that reversed. We're doing the calculate attendance by campus first.
So it looks like we have 69. You want me to close? 70?
70, okay. All right. Polly, Downtown, and West, could you verify those numbers?
West is okay.
West is good?
We're good.
Okay, and Polytechnic?
We're correct also.
Thank you. Okay, now we'll do the total attendance. Make sure we're working together. And what year did ASU implement a single university-wide academic senate? See how many of you have been doing this for a while. All right, we have 72 total responses. We must have had some people come in. All right. Well, look at this. What would a statistical distribution of that answer mean? The answer is D, the 2008-2009 academic year. Okay. President Crow is joining us today, today's Senate meeting via video from London, where it is currently 11:08 in the evening. Is that correct, Dr. Crow?
It's 11:08 in the meeting, and the Plus Alliance board dinner, the alliance that we have with University of New South Wales and King's College London, is just ended, and we have some meetings in the morning. Just arrived today. Have some meetings in the morning, and then flying back and tomorrow. So I apologize. I can't be there with you. Can everybody hear me all right?
Looks like it. Yes.
Okay. So is now a good time for me to start?
Now is a good time to start. Please do so.
All right. Well, thank you. And let me start by basically giving you a top-line overview of the status of how things are going at the university. We think that things are continuing to go very well on nearly every front. We have seen between the fall and the spring semester record retention, that is of the freshman students continuing to move forward, and so we're very happy about that. Very significant student successes, student awards, record research activities, record faculty recognition. So on those fronts, we're doing well. One of our complexities this year that we're heading into is obviously with all of the rhetoric that's surrounding various voices in the United States regarding international students. We're looking very closely at our international student enrollment issues, which are very important to both those students and their success, but also to the university's success overall, as well as to our financial structure. And we seem to be on track, although there are uncertainties out there from time to time that we encounter. We're working hard. Provost Searle and his team and others have been working very hard to ensure the enrollment flow. On the enrollment side, something that's been of particular positive importance has been what we think will be a 1,000 student increase in freshmen over a 2-year time frame from Arizona. And so we're very excited about that. That is a class that's just about, that part of our freshman class is about 50% minority students and very representative of a broad range of families. And so we're seeing a huge uptick in the university's access to students from Arizona. Moving to the Regents recently approved our tuition increase, and to put our tuition model into perspective, we obviously work to keep the tuition for in-state students to the lowest possible point. We asked for and received a 1.5% tuition increase, which is consistent with our 10-year plan. We promised that we would have a tuition increase not to exceed 3% per year for a 10-year time frame, and we're well below that percentage, and asked for and received that increase this year. But I think more importantly for in-state students, we've kept the net in-state tuition to under $2,000, and net tuition means what is the student actually paying after grants, not including loans. For out-of-state students and international students, our basic theory on tuition is to keep that tuition market competitive, but around the 50th percentile of what out-of-state tuitions are among large-scale public research universities and among both public and private universities for out-of-state tuition. And so we've been able to do that with a 3.5% and 4.5% respectively increase. On the state legislature side and with the governor, we're seeing stronger support than we've seen in the last few years. The governor is committed to the model for funding the students and is incrementally supporting us to move forward with that. We're seeing more responsive engagement from the legislature than we've seen in the past, so that's very good. Also, we don't know how exactly how things will turn out this year, but we believe that we have support for what we call the Research Infrastructure 2 efforts, which will allow us to have resources to construct on the order of 3 new research buildings with some help from the state. Interdisciplinary Science and Technology Building number 7, which we'll talk about with the Academic Senate, University Senate, when that is appropriate. A new Research and Innovation Building near the Mayo Hospital as a part of our relationship with them, and one building that's already under construction, which is Biodesign C. In addition to that, I think we're making good progress in terms of overall the university is being perceived to be a positive aspect of the state's portfolio of investments. We've got many faculty searches underway, more than 150. I'm hoping will close here soon, and a number of new faculty members will be joining us, and so we're excited about that. I think the other thing worth noting for faculty and for academic professionals is that we're going to be making some additional investments going forward into university libraries, physical investments, technology investments to move our library to the highest level possible of assets for both our on-campus and our online students. So overall, I think things are going well. We believe that we're on track for a record-breaking fundraising year. That's the year that we're in, ending June 30th, as well as a record-breaking enrollment year, as well as research year. So we're excited about all of those things, and I'd be happy to answer any questions from anybody.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Crow. Let me begin with some of the campuses that are not at Tempe. Donna, does any of your senators there at downtown have any questions for Dr. Crow?
No questions for Dr. Crow from downtown.
Thank you. Alejandra at West?
There are no questions from West.
Thank you. And Keith, the senators from Polytechnic.
We have a question here.
Just curious how the consortium efforts are going in the meetings that you have with the University of South Wales.
Yeah, so very good. We just had a 2-hour meeting yet this evening. Landed this afternoon, fought our way through London traffic, got over here for the team from the University of New South Wales, led by Ian Jacobs, my counterpart, as well as 5 or 6 folks from that school, as well as King's College London, which is hosting the meeting. So we've got 2 things that we're doing here. We're both advancing the PLUS Alliance, and there's several ASU people here that have been here for several days working on the research aspects of the Alliance, which are going very well. The continued expansion of joint degree programs between the 3 schools, continued progress on the development of markets for our combined educational assets, and we spend a lot of time talking about India and a recent trip that was made by a team from ASU and the other 2 schools to India at the highest levels of the ministries and at the highest levels of the various companies in India. India's challenge seems to be something on the order of tens of millions of people who want to go to college who don't have access to college, and is there some way that we can be helpful? And then in addition to the Alliance activities, our team is having breakfast tomorrow with the University of New South Wales team specifically to work on our bilateral relationships. There are more than 1 degree that will soon be offered from UNSW that we'll be offering to ASU students that we don't offer, which expands our portfolio both to our current students as well as to attract other students, as well as to be of greater service to local industry. For instance, UNSW will be able to offer their nuclear engineering degree working with us going forward, and also a mining engineering degree that we don't offer either of those. And so those discussions, Tom, are going well. We're making progress on the relationship. There's been a number of joint research proposals submitted, a number of teams that have been funded, and then there's about 20 or 30, Mark Searle would know the exact number, 20 or 30 fellows on the ASU faculty that have been appointed as PLUS Alliance fellows with faculty appointments at UNSW, at King's College, and at ASU. 20 or 30 from ASU, 20 or 30 from King's, and 20 or 30 from UNSW. So all of our interactions are going very well.
Thank you. Dr. Searle, do you want to add anything to that?
I would only add that the fellows have been doing a great job building relationships, not only to build research, but also to build academic programming across the institutions. And actually, I think, Mike, we're probably closer to 35 now from ASU, if not a few more than that. So it's a great recognition of our ability to build across the 3 different universities.
Thank you.
Right. I know we have a large faculty members that have been interested and that they've been finding the interactions productive to their own individual teaching and research activities. So.
Thank you. Senators at Tempe, are there any questions for Dr. Crow? I don't see anyone coming to the mic, so thank you, Dr. Crow, and
right.
We appreciate your joining us this way, and get some rest.
All right, thank you. Sorry to miss you there physically, and I'll be back tomorrow evening. So thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Okay. Our second order of business is Jeffrey Wilson, Faculty Athletics Representative, who will now present his annual report.
Good evening to everyone. Before I give you the numbers and the figures and the models, each year I come to you, I like to bring one of the coaches that you can get a closer involvement with that coach and see some of the things that's happening on the grounds. Today I'm here with Coach Zeke Jones and with the Senior Athletic Director, Jean Boyd, who is an alum here, and I'm going to ask Jean to come and introduce Coach Jones.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's my pleasure to be here this afternoon to introduce one of our illustrious coaches who was also an alum out of the W.P. Carey School of Business. He was a Bachelor of Science degree awardee in finance in the business school in 1990. On behalf of Ray Anderson, our Vice President for University Athletics and for the university, when he came here, Ray came here in 2014, one of his initial commitments was to reinvigorate our commitment to Olympic sports, and in particular sports where there are opportunities for high achievement and for training for Olympians, not only from ASU but from across this country. Kind of in reverse order, we've seen that commitment come to fruition. Just this past fall, late fall, early spring, our new triathlon team won a national title in that emerging sport in the NCAA with an Olympic coach, Cliff English. Bob Bowman, if you all were awake at all in this past summer, in the Olympic Games, set all kind of records for production in terms of gold medals, all medals overall, with an extremely incredible Olympic performance as the head Olympic coach. He's our swimming coach. But before both of them, Ray's first hire as a coach was Zeke Jones, and he hired him directly from the USA Olympic Organization for Wrestling. He had been a coach in the Olympics over the past 4 Olympic Games, and previous to that, he was not only a national champion in his sport on a national championship team here and a runner-up in wrestling here in the NCAA championship, but he was also a silver medalist in the Olympic Games himself in 1992. Equally as impressive and as important as our head coach, in less than 3 years, he's moved our team GPA from about the 2.6 range to just beneath 3.0. He's at about 2.98 after this past fall semester cumulatively, and he has 7 wrestlers in Barrett's Honors College, which is also an impressive figure. He has about 34 young men on his team majoring in 24 different majors. And so without further ado, Zeke Jones.
Thanks. That was pretty good, Gene. Now I got to live up to that. Thank you for having me here. The first thing I think out of the gate is in 1985, I decided to come to college at Arizona State University, walk into Bio 100, 200 students, I'm not sure what the number is, and 1 faculty member, and I have to say that I was pretty intimidated. Never did I think 30 years later I would be 1 student speaking in front of 150 faculty members and is equally as intimidated. I can't tell you, I'm a Sun Devil for life. I truly, truly am. I think about the informative years that Arizona State has given me coming here and the life experiences, being on a national championship team at Arizona State, the opportunity to wrestle and coach in the World Olympic Games, the experiences that I've had on the wrestling mat and all over the world, of course, but that was really shaped here and really shaped by you. I started out as a psychology major. Then I shifted to business management and then ultimately graduated with a corporate financial management degree and then became a wrestling coach. I don't know. You can do anything when you leave Arizona State with your education. I look at the program that we're building. I'd like to say that we've built, but I don't think that we've really arrived at the place we really want to be. But I use my education all the time. We're a very active wrestling program, and I don't just mean in that circle that we wrestle in or over in the Rich's Wrestling Complex behind the white bubble, but I think about the community that connects to our program. We have a fully active board, operations, finance and development, and our communications relations division. That comes from my business background here in my education at Arizona State. I learned to wrestle from Bobby Douglas, and I had many coaches growing up, but through my informative collegiate and Olympic career as an athlete, I learned wrestling from him. So I start to think about the experiences I have with the faculty members from Arizona State and now, you know, obviously with Bobby Douglas, that you've created all that, and I want to thank you. Now you're doing that same thing, and I don't know if any of you taught me 30 years ago, I hope not. But now you're doing that for our young men and women in our wrestling program. Like Gene said, we have many that are in every college on campus and many departments, and you're truly shaping the behavior and the educational experience that they're going to have. You already know that. I see it every day in the wrestling room. We're a partnership. I know that. And I know for me, I spend every waking hour and some of my sleeping, half sleeping hours, and how we can make them better wrestlers. Of course, I know you're doing the same thing and sharing that same, you know, goal and drive to help them achieve their academic and ultimately their career and professional goals, right? I concentrate on the wrestler, you concentrate on the student, and that's the student athlete. And don't get me wrong, I don't want to make that in any way feel that it's all that I'm doing, but I do know that what you're doing is impacting our young men and women, and I want to thank you for that. I know they're truly becoming prepared. I'm a product of that preparation from a long time ago, but I'm seeing it in our wrestling room. I'm seeing the kind of young men and women that they're developing into, and so I do appreciate that that partnership with you. When Ray called a couple, I used to say a couple months ago, then a year ago, then shortly over 2 years ago, and asked me if I wanted to be the wrestling coach at Arizona State, and I said, well, you know, I'm coaching the best team in the world. Why would I want to leave? And I was coaching the U.S. Olympic team at that time. And he said, we want to do that same thing here. And I knew he knew what it meant. I knew when President Crow brought Ray here, and I think many know, but I'm going to ensure everyone knows, President Crow was a wrestler. And I knew that his vision, Ray's vision, was to elevate our athletic department and obviously that partnership with the academic side of the university. And I think we're on track. We're on path. We won a Pac-12 championship this year. We finished in the top 15. I'm going to call it 12th, but maybe some people say it's 14th. But nevertheless, we're making progress, and it can't be done without all of us in this room, right? It really takes a collective effort. And so I know President Crow and Ray Anderson and Gene and Jeffrey, who certainly puts a lot of time into the effort of our student athletes. We're committed. We're committed, and we just love it here. I wrestled here in the 80s. I was an assistant coach in the 90s. I left for 16 years coaching at various places, and third time's a charm, as they say, and it's true, because I'm not coming back for a fourth. When I'm done, I'm sitting by the pool with you guys out in Ahwatukee. But I just love it here. I can't thank you enough. I'll stop. I won't belabor. I could sit up here forever, but it really means a lot that you do everything that you do for our young men and women, and let's just keep working hard for them, right? That's what we need to do. So appreciate everything you do. Do I take questions, Jeffrey? Are we good? We're good. Thank you so much.
Well, I just want to spend a few minutes giving you the numbers from inside the performances that we have. This year, at the end of fall, 2016, you would see that the cumulative GPA for student athletes is 3.12, and we are in the 9th consecutive semester that we are above 3.0. Our graduation success rate is 87%, and we are second. I know the president, when he hears this, he always wants to know what happened to first. But we are second to Stanford. We are 7th in Division I athletics for highest number of academics All-American. And we are 2nd in the Pac-12 conference with 30 Scholar Athletes of the Year. One of the things that you don't know, when we recruit on Saturday mornings or when those athletes come in, one of our big trump cards is we take them over to Barrett's Honors. And sometimes we have teams or we have athletes who are thinking about ASU versus Stanford. And we will go, sometimes it's Sunday morning, I feel bad. I call up Professor Margaret Nelson and I said, really they want to talk to somebody from Barrett. I say, I hope that you are not going to church this morning. And usually she's there, always there for us. Some of the other things I want to let you know, I don't know how much you know that in the last few years, things have really changed in athletics and at the NCAA after some of the different lawsuits that they had. And through it, many good things have come out of it. And some of these things that right now, this year, we'll be working on, looking forward to get it passed by January, is some kind of medical coverage for insurance that our student athletes will have if they get injured doing certain things whilst on trips. One of the things that somehow is a little contentious right now, and that is postseason family travel expenses. We have a little division here because football and basketball, they are allowed to do that. That's in their budget. And so one of the discussions is what happened to the other sports? Why can't that happen? Those kids would like their parents to at least see them play a game. The time balance is continuing to be a problem for us because we got to make sure that the student athlete is not overuse of time, and so that's a discussion still going on. And then something else that's going on is turning pro. You have this situation where a student athlete thinks, I'm good enough, and once that student athlete declares that they're going to the professional league, if they go and then they don't get drafted well, they cannot come back. And we find that that's not something that is right. 19, 20-year-old make a decision about, well, maybe I could make it, and then find out when they get out there, and then we tell them you cannot come back to school. Some of the things that's going on right here on campus, we are, at the end of each semester, we have a statistical model. Those of you in the area would know what I'm talking about when I say hierarchical logistic regression model. What we do, we take the 577 student athletes, we run a model in that just looking for things like where the major is a random effect and the instructor is a membership effect. And what we are looking for is to make sure that the student athlete is performing without any help, without performing the correct way. And so through the grades, we look at those things just for the student athlete, and we make sure that the proper office knows if that's going on, yes or no. Another thing that we looked at is clustering. And we got to be careful when we look at that because we have a team that has 7 or 8 students, and 4 or 5 of them is in looking to be physicians. Excuse me, looking to be physicians. So what are you going to say? There's a clustering. So when we talk about clustering, we just want to know that what the president is saying to us, that every student athlete must have a chance to go into any major he or she desires, and that is something that's open up for them. And so we looked at that too, and then we report back, and on those topics we'll continue to look at the end of every semester and continue to look at the clustering from time to time. But I'm here to report that things are fine in those 2 areas. And that's my report.
We're ready now for the chair's report. April's Senator Spotlight is Heidi McElwaith, who represents Science and Mathematics Unit in the College of Integrated Sciences and Arts. Heidi has been a member of the Senate for 3 years and has accepted the nomination to be the Polytechnic Campus President-elect in the upcoming election. Heidi was working in industry when she decided to return to graduate school and intended to return when her studies were completed. Ultimately, she found she was enjoying teaching as a graduate student so much that when a new teaching position opened around the time of her graduation, she was asked to stay. She has been with ASU for 9 years and is a member of the Student Faculty Policy Committee. Heidi states that she has found time on the Senate rewarding and that she has met many wonderful new people from different disciplines who bring knowledge and experiences that broaden horizons. The Senate provides an opportunity to understand more about the running of the university as a whole rather than just the small world of her home academic unit. Today, you will have a second read and a vote on Senate Resolution 2017-59, the resolution supporting international students and employees. The UAC reports that they have not received any additional feedback from senators or faculty on this resolution. During this past month, Chris Kieselka, Senate Secretary, and I attended the Arizona Board of Regents meeting April 5th through the 7th at the University of Arizona. At these ABOR meetings, the Arizona Facilities Council, or AFC, which compromises the University Senate leadership from all 3 universities, also convenes. I've had the privilege of serving as AFC chair this year, which gives ex officio faculty representation at the ABOR table. This year, I instituted a conference call between all 3 universities and ABOR staff, where we discussed the ABOR committee agenda prior to those meetings. As AFC chair, I give a report to the regents on concerns of the faculty. This report this time has had the following main points. All 3 universities, independently of each other, have passed or are in the process of passing resolutions in support of our international students and faculty, going on record that we oppose any policy that limits study or travel of students or employees based on country of origin or religion. All 3 universities have now passed some version of an open access policy. ASU's policy, passed last month by the Senate, was written with consultation on intellectual property policies, those current and those proposed by ABOR. U of A's policy was revised this year based on ABOR's IP proposals. NAU has an open access system, but has not yet passed a policy for faculty regarding its use. One continuing discussion among the regents has to do with quality measures and markers of success in the approval of new programs and the academic program review process. We reminded the regents that faculty are part of this process and wish to be part of any discussions on measuring quality. We suggested a theme for the ABOR breakfast meetings with faculty, examples that identify and quantify student success. We proposed that the regents meet with faculty and recent baccalaureate graduates who can describe how their degrees contributed to their current successes. We hope that these targeted discussions will assist the regents in identifying and articulating external markers of success in their work with quality measures. Finally, I wish to congratulate the Senate and the Senate committees for a very productive year. Each of the committees have submitted or are submitting their annual reports to the website, which will be posted at the Senate website. I wish to convey my appreciation to the committee chairs and their members for clearly identifying their tasks and moving steadily towards resolution. Many of their activities have resulted in Senate recommendations for ACD changes, resolutions, and increased communication with academic and fiscal administrators. The Senate has approved an open access policy, constitution and bylaws revisions, contributed representatives to 4 dean search committees, and approved numerous programs and courses. We have opened and resolved numerous requests for consultation. My final report to the Senate will contain a summary of those accomplishments. It has been a privilege and an honor to serve as University Senate President. I wish to credit the Senate office staff, Chuck Barbie, Executive Director, and Pamela Hoyle, Administrative Specialist, for many of the successes we've had this year. They have supported me, the committees, and the Senate with the highest level of professionalism and respect for shared governance. So thank you both. Further, I wish to acknowledge and thank the Provost Office and the administration for their continued support of the University Senate Office. Their financial support of this office makes it possible for faculty to assume the duties of leadership role and to manage the details of shared governance in practice. So thank you. In closing, I wish to encourage all members of the Academic Assembly to consider Senate leadership as a service that returns benefits exponentially. The skills one develops while getting to work with incredibly accomplished individuals from all fields of study are highly transferable to one's own research, teaching, practice, and advocacy skills. An engaged and awake faculty is crucial to the success of shared governance at ASU. Thank you for the role you have played this year in making ASU a better place to work, to study, and to live. Thank you. And we're now ready for new business. Carolyn Harrison will now present the new CAPC motions.
Before I present the new motions, I want to take a moment to give a brief update. This year, CAPC considered 76 proposals to date, with another 22 to keep us busy this Thursday at our next meeting. And I want to thank the committee for all of their work in the review and occasionally the lively discussion of all of the proposals and this near record number of 98. So thank you very much. The following program proposals are presented to you for the first read. As always, if you have any questions or comments about these, please get them to me, preferably by this meeting, no later than our next CAPC meeting coming up in August. The items in Appendix A will be voted on at CAPC and will not have a second read. So please make sure you get any information or questions on those to me by this Thursday. First of all, we'll start with a request from the College of Health Solutions for the establishment of a graduate certificate, Integrated Behavioral Health Clinical. Request from the College of Health Solutions for the establishment of a graduate certificate, Integrated Behavioral Health Management. Request from the College of Health Solutions, School of Nutrition and Health Promotion for the establishment of an undergraduate certificate, Health Education Specialist. Request from the College of Health Solutions Dean's Office for the establishment of an undergraduate certificate, Integrated Behavioral Health. Request from the College of Liberal Arts and Sciences, Department of English for the disestablishment of an undergraduate certificate, Entertainment and Technology. Request from the Mary Lou Fulton Teachers College, Division of Teacher Preparation for the disestablishment of an undergraduate certificate, Games and Impact. Request from the School of Sustainability for the establishment of a graduate degree, Master of Science in Global Sustainability Science. Request from the Thunderbird School of Global Management for the establishment of a graduate degree, MALM in Applied Leadership and Management.
Thank you, Caroline. Now we're ready for the new course proposals. This is new course. Hang on. Senate Motion 24747, new courses, was sent to the senators electronically on April 13th. We are offering these new courses for approval as a consent agenda. Before we take a vote, are there any courses that any senator would like to remove from the consent agenda? I will begin with the West Campus.
Yeah, can you hear me, Kathy?
I can hear you well.
Yeah, we actually do have one course that we would like to pull. from the consent agenda, and that's English 3.119, the future of English. And we do want to make a comment, not pull it out, but make a comment on Justice 355, Human Rights Organizations and Institutions. Issue with both courses, but the human rights has not been pulled out, but there were no impact statements done. So we're concerned about the lack of impact statements being done. Yeah, so I talked to the director of the program about the graduate and undergraduate program in human rights and social justice, which I'm a faculty member there, and they agreed that we don't want to pull that course out, but we do want to go on record that there was no impact statement. However, the School of Humanities, Arts, and Cultural Studies does want to pull out English 319 because of the lack of impact statement.
So let me get this clear. You are going on record that you note that there was no impact statement for the human rights course, and I didn't catch it?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there was no impact statement. You could see it at Changemaker, and I also consulted.
What is the course name and number?
It's Justice 355, Human Rights Organizations and Institutions.
Okay, and you are pulling this or not pulling this from the consent agenda?
This one, we're not pulling out the Justice course. Okay, we're just going on record that there was no impact statement, but not pulling it out. The one that we do want to pull out for the same reason, no impact statement, is English 319, Future of English. That we do want to pull out.
Anything else, Alejandra?
No, as far as I can tell.
Thank you. Polytechnic, do you want to pull anything from the course consent agenda?
Nothing here, thank you.
Thank you. Downtown, Donna?
Nothing to pull from the consent agenda.
Okay, Tempe, anything to pull from the consent agenda? Okay.
Kathy,
Chuck.
real quick, just for the record, this is actually new course proposal 2017-60. You had mentioned 47, so we'll have 2017-60 minus English 319.
Okay.
Correct?
Oh, it's not 2017-47.
No, that was last Senate meeting.
Cut and paste doesn't work. Thank you. Thank you for that correction. I appreciate it. Okay, so we will vote on the consent agenda 2017-60 minus English 319. Okay?
I'll post the question, and for most viewers, it doesn't allow us to adjust the font size, so if you're not going to be able to read that top line, but Kathy just stated the question.
I'll read it one more time. Do you approve the new course proposal consent agenda minus English 319? Slow down to 78. Okay, 73 yes, 1 no, 4 abstain. The motion passes. Thank you. Senate Resolution 2017-59, supporting international students and employees, is presented for approval by the Senate. Is there any discussion on this motion? I will go to the West Campus. Alejandra? Are you getting your music taken
Yeah,
care
I'm
of?
sorry.
Okay.
I apologize. I didn't hear the question.
We are voting on 2017-59, supporting international students and employees. Is there any discussion from West on this motion?
No, there isn't.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
Thank you. Polytechnic, any discussion from Polytechnic senators?
No discussion, thank you.
Thank you. Downtown, any discussion on Senate Resolution 2017-59?
No discussion, thank you.
Tempe, any comments or discussion? Seeing none, we are ready for a vote. Do you approve SM 2017-59 resolution supporting international students and employees? Looks like it's settled. 77 yes, 0 no, and 2 abstain. The resolution passes. Thank you. We are now ready for CAPC consent agenda. Carolyn Harrison presents the following motions for Senate approval.
First of all, the first motion, 20748, the request from the College of Health Solutions to transfer a graduate degree, MS in Biomedical Diagnostics from Biomedical Informatics to the International School of Biomedical Diagnostics was pulled from the last CAPC agenda and so has not yet received a committee approval. So we are pulling it from this consent agenda.
Chuck, do you need to do anything about that then? You did. You already deleted
Okay.
it, so thank you.
The following items are on the consent agenda for vote by the Senate today. Request from the College of Health Solutions, School of Nutrition and Health Promotion for the establishment of a graduate degree, MS in Biomechanics. Request from the College of Health Solutions, School of Nutrition and Health Promotion for the establishment of an undergraduate certificate, Personal Fitness Training. Request from the College of Health Solutions Dean's Office to transfer an undergraduate degree, BS in Medical Studies, to the School for the Science of Healthcare Delivery. Request from the College of Health Solutions, School for the Science of Healthcare Delivery for the establishment of an undergraduate certificate, Healthcare Policy and Delivery. Request from the College of Liberal Arts and Sciences Dean's Office to transfer a graduate certificate, Nonfiction Writing and Publishing, to the School for the Future of Innovation in Society. Request from the College of Liberal Arts and Sciences Dean's Office to transfer an undergraduate certificate, Southeast Asian Studies, to the School of Historical, Philosophical, and Religious Studies. Request from the College of Integrative Sciences and Arts for the establishment of an undergraduate certificate, Desert Food Production. Request from the College of Integrative Sciences and Arts for the establishment of an undergraduate certificate, Peace Corps Prep. Request from the Ira A. Fulton Schools of Engineering, the Polytechnic School for the name change of a graduate degree from PhD in Simulation Modeling and Applied Cognitive Science to PhD in Human Systems Engineering, and the request from the College of Liberal Arts and Sciences, School of Life Sciences for the establishment of an undergraduate degree, BS in Neuroscience. Is there anything that anyone would like to have removed from the consent agenda? And I will start with West. Is there anything you'd like to have removed that has not already been removed?
No, we're good.
Thank you. Downtown?
Nothing from downtown.
Thank you. Polytechnic Campus?
Nothing from Poly.
Thank you. And Tempe?
So we're ready for the vote on
Yes.
the consent agenda, and it is minus.
It's the consent agenda minus 2017-48, which is the biomedical transfer degree that Caroline previously mentioned.
Okay, very good. Looks like it stopped, yes. 73 yes, 1 no, 1 abstain. Motion passes. Thank you. We are now ready for committee reports. And Constitution and Bylaws Review Task Force, Shirley Rose.
This will be much briefer than it's been the past two meetings. At our last meeting, we voted on the bylaws changes, and those will go forward. The changes in the articles to the Constitution, however, after we pass them, they need to be voted on by the Faculty Assembly. And that vote will be conducted at the same time as the votes for new Senate officers.
Becky Ladd, University Services and Facilities Committee.
Just one more follow-up, but our annual report is posted now to the dashboard. I believe you can find it there on the Senate dashboard, along with our 4 reports that we created to get back to the faculty who had answered the survey. So that I think I've been telling you about the 4 reports that we've been working on, and so those are all done and can be found on the Black dashboard as well. And they should be coming out to you, but if you don't get them and you know faculty who answered that survey who had concerns about parking or facilities or any of those issues, please direct their attention to our report. Thank you.
Research and Creative Activities, Greg Stone.
The Research and Creative Activities Committee had 3 items on its agenda this year. The first was a while back the Senate passed a motion regarding laboratory safety. This was not approved by the Provost's office. However, in the meantime, OCAD has established a committee on laboratory and radiation safety. And we decided after reviewing the responsibilities of that it satisfies the concerns that had motivated that motion. And so basically we've put that to rest, so no action was taken. Secondly, we had to finish up the process of making the Research and Creative Activities Committee a standing committee of the Senate. The last piece of work involved the separation of what used to be the subcommittee for proprietary and classified research. This has now become a university committee, and we worked closely with OCAD to finalize the process and to change language in RSP 404 and reintroduce RSP 405. Essentially then, all parties concerned were pretty satisfied that it actually maintained our oversight, and we will get updates regarding research misconduct and classified research each year. That'll be in our annual report. And then finally, we wanted to address the question of high-performance computing. These days, it's becoming a very, very important issue with the whole advent of big data, data mining techniques. In particular, there are a lot of fields that had not been very computationally intensive before that are becoming so. And so more and more it's becoming, I think, really critical for a university to have world-class capabilities on this count. UTO is doing a very good job, we think, of working on development of this. We had a subcommittee that was chaired this year by Arnie Maltz to keep track of what was going on and consult with them. We've decided to continue that into the next year. It's going to take a number of years probably for that to develop by UTO, and so that will allow us to maintain consultation and contact with them in that development of that.
Thank you. Thank you very much. The Committee on Committees, Chris Kieselka.
I'd like to thank the committee members for a very productive year, and I appreciate those of you who supported our efforts this past year as well. We have an election coming up. As you heard, the Academic Assembly will be voting starting this Wednesday, the 26th, and voting will continue through May the 2nd, and so you'll be receiving a ballot electronically and have the chance to vote on the 4 amendments to the Constitution, as well as for your campus president-elect, as well as new members of the grievance committees.
Thank you, Chris. The Library Liaison Committee, Divany Loser, is not here today, but she did post her report on the Senate. The report is posted on the University Senate website under Annual Reports. Mike Mokwa, Personnel Committee.
We're the Prodigal Committee. Hopefully later this week we'll be able to go ahead and post our report. We have a couple subcommittee reports that we felt needed a little bit more work. This committee is really interesting because what it deals with is it deals with work-life issues and then work issues that spill over into our lives like benefits and so forth. And I'm going to make a couple observations rather than tell you all the things that we did. The first one is in the benefits area. We spent quite a bit of time working on a few very tactical things, specialized benefits for specialized people and so forth. But I think that the most important takeaway from that was how complex our benefit structure is here. Some of the benefits are in state contracts. Other benefits, we really have a lot of leeway that the Provost's office can go ahead and make changes and adjustments to them. Other things are at the regents level. So one of the things that we see is that our benefits have this fragmented structure. And what it does, we believe, and we've had an opportunity to talk with some of the people, is that a lot of faculty, I don't know if the word's apathetic, but do not actively engage in understanding your own benefits. We saw this in the retirement area. We saw this in some health care benefits that we studied this year. And so one of our recommendations going forward is that we feel it's very important, specifically for faculty who are in a benefit area, something that concerns them, to make sure that they're well informed. And there are a lot of ways to go ahead and do that. One of the more important ways in the benefit area is, if you remember, we invited Vice President Olson to go ahead and join us. And we thought it was very important to reinitiate a strong dialogue with the business side of our organization and university. And Morgan was very receptive to this, and we participated in a number of meetings with him and his people over the year. But one of the recommendations that our group will put forward is to find a systematic way of making sure that faculty voice is a strong part of our benefit decisions. And right now there's no mechanism to really do that. It's all done on an ad hoc basis. So we're not exactly sure how we're going to do that, but we know it's got to be done, and we'll appreciate your support in that area. Another interesting area was maybe the guest speaker, informational speaker, who I most enjoyed watching as a good old friend of mine, was Phil Regier this year. That it was brought to the attention of our group that there are many issues in the online area. And once again, while our committee kind of found out that the technical side of dealing with online is being handled relatively well, particularly compared to other universities and other areas. When it comes to faculty input, faculty pay, other issues that the faculty feel are quite important to us beyond simply the design and execution of our courses, we want more voice there too. So another recommendation that we were not able to go ahead and really create the forum for is that we would like to make sure that the Faculty Senate, the faculty, have representation with our online endeavors. And we know this also is very interesting because at the highest level, we have ASU Online, but then in the everyday level, each of us face our own deans, our own department chairs, and all the decisions that are being made locally from top down. And many of us are not aware of those things, nor do we have much say in what's going on there. So that was another thing that we addressed. Something that's been going on for 8 or 10 years, and there's been multiple reports, multiple discussions about it, is the treatment of non-tenure track faculty members. And as non-tenure track faculty members become increasingly important in all facets of the university, and governance facets, and delivering of our courses, and dealing with students in all dimensions, once again, what we are seeing is the lay of the land is very fragmented, very diffused, and we need to go ahead and figure out a way that those non-tenure track faculty members feel comfortable in our system, making their contributions and going ahead and then being equitably treated for the contributions that they make. And we know that there are pockets in the university who have made some progress in this area, but overall there still is a lot of work to be done. We've worked with Arnie Maltz, therefore, and what we are recommending in that area is to put together a task force at the Senate level, rather than having it at a committee level or having it within any department going forward. So we would expect next year to see a task force in that area. The other major thing that we stumbled across, and maybe it wasn't stumbling across, is that when we came out of the recession, there was a lot of discussion about faculty and staff salaries, and that we were going to have a salary plan, and that we were going to have 5 or 6 years or whatever it was at that time of consistent raises and so forth. Someplace along the line, that discussion has just, again, dissipated. It's gone away. We have put together a recommendation that we are working with the faculty, or rather the UAC and the executive board, that we will position to the provost and president of the university to make sure that faculty salaries are put back on as an agenda item in this university, and that we are offering our help as the Senate in any ways that we can to go ahead and make sure that it's a rational process and that there's more communication than there has been in the last couple of years. And those were the kind of the dominant things that we worked on this year.
That committee has done a lot of work and has positioned us for the work for next year, so thank you very much. Keith, well, look at that. I think that's an acclamation of the support you have for the work moving forward. If you need my help, I won't be at the podium anymore. It'll be Arnie's role, but I'll be in the amen corner. Student Faculty Policy Committee, Keith Hollinger, do you have a report?
I wanted to begin by thanking Pam and Chuck, and on our committee, specifically Daniel McCarville. He's been instrumental in getting this committee ready for next year, so we're on track for next year as well. So this year, I could make a list of the RFCs that we closed, but those will be in my report that'll be posted in the next, probably tomorrow. But in the meantime, I'll give you an update on some of the basics that we've done, that we've achieved. Daniel McCarville was instrumental in getting the Academic Dishonesty Clearinghouse up and running. I don't know how many faculty have heard about that, but it is operating. We have coordinated the implementation of the line of duty accommodations for military students, and that was a process coordinating between the Provost's office, the Office of the Dean of Students, and the Tillman Veterans Center, trying to work out how we coordinate and create a new policy in the ACD and the Student Services Manual simultaneously. So that was an adventure we undertook this year. We carefully considered our response to a student organization regarding dissections in ASU classrooms. We issued that response, and that is also in my report. And there were a few other projects that we worked on and achieved. We have closed every RFC presented to the committee except for the one policy that we were working out with Daniel McCarville over the summer. So I think it's been a very, very productive year, and it wouldn't have been possible without Fred Corey, Deb Clark, and Steve Borden, so thank all of you. And I think we're set for next year, so I'm looking forward to another productive year. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Keith. We're now ready for open forum. Is there anything that anyone would like to say at any of the campuses? Let me go to the remote campuses first. West, anything for open forum?
Yes, we have a question in open forum. Let me see if it. There you go, Barbara.
Hi, Kathy. This is Barbara at West. I'm asking about the Concur travel system. There was a committee working on that. What has been the outcome of that committee?
We just this week received a report. They have met twice. We will post that report on the Senate website. They have identified the issues and the problems that they're able to do something with. They're in communication with the vendor, and they're also in communication with departmental policies that may hinder the upload of the items, depending on the departments. They look forward to continuing next year. So I guess I can tell you it is a work in progress, but they are making progress, both with department communication and with the vendor. So no real change yet, but we all know the issues and we're getting them out and moving towards resolution. I'll go to, do you have anything else at West?
No, that's it.
Thank
Thank
you.
Thanks, Kathy.
I'll go to Polytechnic next. Keith?
Nothing at Poly, thank you.
Thank you. And downtown, Donna?
Nothing at downtown.
Thank you. Tempe, yes, please state your name.
I vertically challenged Crystal Griffith.
I think you could pull the mic down, or just...
I should know that I'm a filmmaker. I'll
Yeah,
just do that.
there.
So my question is, with the person who was here from athletics, I did not have an opportunity to ask a question. And this is something that came out in some of my students' work, in their documentary work. They were doing a piece on one of the football players here. And it became clear in the process of doing that documentary that this student was taking a large number of online courses. So my question is, are our student athletes taking a majority of in-person classes, or are they taking a majority of online courses? And I understand the convenience of taking online courses, but that's where people can fall and slip through the cracks and contribute to those low GPAs. Just a question. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll forward that to Jeffrey Wilson, and I'm sure he has that statistic. Anything else for open forum? Okay, we are now ready for the passing of the gavel. Arnie, would you please come up here? Arnold Maltz has been elected by the UAC as the University Senate President and Chair of the UAC for next year, and I present to you.
Before I accept this, Kathy, let me be the first to congratulate you on a terrific term, as well as great leadership of the committees. And I think you've done a wonderful job. You're going to be a very hard act to follow. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Yes. The plaque reads, "In sincere gratitude for your focused, unwavering support for shared governance and service to the entire Arizona University system. Well done."
Thank you. Thank you very much. And now, as your first act, you get to dismiss the meeting.
As my first act, I am now calling the meeting adjourned.